All right, guys, we are coming off a real strong 5-1 day in my personal bets on my sports betting website yesterday. But before we get into some more of that, just want to take a quick time out and welcome you to the video here today for Monday, August 1st, 2022. My name is Brock Page, and I do sports picks for free right here on YouTube. I also sell my personal bets on my sports betting website on patreon.com/BrockPage. Once again, guys, I went 5-1 on my 6 personal plays on that site yesterday. I also improved to 7-3 in my last 10 board member tier package bets on that site as well. And of course, that's good for 70% during that span. And I'll tell you what, that board member package, it's a membership that I offer on that site. And not only does it give you access to the board member tier package bet itself, it also gives you access to every single bet, every single package, every single day, all the way up until September 1st. It's my best package. It's an all-inclusive membership. Now, you may be wondering what the difference is between what I do here on YouTube and what I do on my website. Well, what I do here on YouTube is I'll handicap the entire slate of games in any given sport, side and total. And what I do on patreon.com/BrockPage is actually share with you which one of these free YouTube picks on my channel that I'm actually betting on personally. And with that, guys, let's go ahead and dive into some free content here today. We're going to take a look at the Reds squaring off against the Marlins, 6:40 Eastern first pitch. Now, this game's currently off the board. Hunter Green's the starting pitcher for the Reds. Jesus Luzardo possible for Miami. And if he does end up getting the start here today, in just 29 innings of work this year, Luzardo has a 1.17 whip and 41 strikeouts. And that really shouldn't come as much of a surprise, as this Miami pitching staff has done a solid job at home this year. These guys are actually in the top 10 in the majors in fewest home hits allowed. They're also taking on a Cincy team who wins only 35% of their road games, and they strike out an awful lot at the dish. Matter of fact, the Reds are currently in the bottom 5 in the league right now in strikeouts per 9 at the plate. And when it comes to the pitching in this one, starting pitcher Hunter Green, he's lost a dozen games already this season, and he also has a 5.59 ERA. I'm going to go ahead and lean toward the Marlins winning that game outright for some money line cash. Next matchup, Mets-Nats, 7:05 East. The New York Mets are minus 250, totals 8.5. Max Scherzer for New York, Patrick Corbin for Washington. Now, Corbs has a staggering 14 losses on the year already, with an ERA of 6.49. And not only did the Nats win just 29% of their home games, these guys have averaged only 3.9 runs a game for the entire season. They're also taking on Max Scherzer here today, who has an ERA in the low 2s, along with a .90 whip. He's also backed by a solid core of hitters who can easily put runners across the plate. The Mets are in the top 5 in runs per game. They're led by Pete Alonso, who's first in the National League in RBI with 85. Now, in addition to that, Alonso's also 5th in the bigs right now in homers and 9th in OPS. Meanwhile, teammate Starling Marte, he's the club leader with a solid .301 batting average at the plate. When it comes to the number, 3 out of New York's last 5 road games got over the total. And in their last 10 head-to-head meetings with Washington, the Mets have averaged just about 6 runs a game. I'm going to lean toward the Mets minus 1.5. In the over, 8.5. Next game, Mariners-Yankees, 7:05 East. The New York Yankees are minus 190, totals 9. Domingo Germán for New York, Marco Gonzalez for Seattle. And even though Marco's had several good outings this year, he's just 6-10 on the season with a 1.35 whip. Now, the M's have also lost 3 out of their last 4 ball games, and they average just 2.5 runs a game during that short span. They're also taking on a Yankee team who wins over 75% of their ball games in the Bronx. They also have the most dangerous hitting lineup in baseball. Aaron Judge has a league-best 42 home runs, along with 91 RBI. And no real shock here, the Bronx Bombers are currently leading the majors in runs per game. Now, total-wise, oddly enough, 7 out of these teams' last 10 meetings did fall under the number, so if you're into historical trends, you certainly want to think about that one there. As a matter of fact, the Yankees held the M's to just 2.7 runs a game in those very meetings I just mentioned. I'm going to lean toward the New York Yankees -1.5 and the under 9. Next contest, it is going to be D-backs Guardians, 7:10 Eastern first pitch. Cleveland's -155, totals 9. Cal Quantrill for Cleveland, Zach Davies for Arizona. And even though the wins just haven't been there for Davies this year, he does come into today's ball game with an ERA in the 3s, along with a 1.19 whip. And that really shouldn't come as much of a surprise here. This Arizona club does a real nice job keeping runners off the base paths, especially away from home. As a matter of fact, the D-backs are currently in the top 10 in the majors right now in fewest hits allowed per game away from home. They're taking on Cal Quantrill here today for Cleveland, who's got an ERA just about in the 4s. The righty's also got himself a 1.32 whip. And when it comes to hitting for power, well, the Guardians really don't hit the long ball much. They're currently in the bottom 3 in homers per 9. When it comes to the total in this one, Arizona saw their last 4 straight on the road fall under the posted number. They also went 8-2 to the under in their last 10 at any location. I'm going to lean toward Arizona +1.5, keeping this one close, and the under 9. Next matchup I have for you, it is going to be Tigers taking on the Twins, 7:40 Eastern start time. Now, this is another game that's off the board right now. Looks like Tarek Skubal for Detroit, Aaron Sanchez possible for Minnesota. And despite how bad Sanchez has been this season, he does still come into today's ball game with a 3-3 record. So kind of feast or famine when this guy pitches. Now, the Twins also do a pretty nice job when it comes to hitting the baseball. So even if Sanchez struggles, the Twins at any given time, offensively can keep themselves in ball games. These guys are actually in the top 10 in scoring, top 10 in OPS. And of course, Luis Arias, he's hitting a league best 333 at the plate. Meanwhile, Byron Buxton's 5th in the league in homers with 26 of them. Now they're taking on Tarek Skubal here today, who's got 8 losses on the year and a losing record on the season despite pitching quite well. And I think the reason for that is, well, the Tigers, they can't hit for shit. They're dead last in homers, dead last in runs per game. I'm going to go ahead and lean toward the Minnesota Twins winning that game outright for some money line cash. All right, next contest, O's Rangers, 8:05 Eastern start time. Texas is the $1.65 favorite at home, total 7.5. Johnny Gray for the Rangers, Spencer Watkins for Baltimore. Now, Spence has done a real nice job keeping these guys in ball games. Matter of fact, out of 58 innings of work this season, the righties suffered only 1 loss. When it comes to cashing in on the run line, the O's have been real good covering the 1.5 on the road. They've covered the number in over 60% of their contests while traveling. Now they're taking on a Texas club on the other side of things who lost 6 out of their last 10 themselves. And they've really struggled scoring against them. Out of these teams' last 10 head-to-head meetings with each other, the Rangers have averaged less than 3.8 runs a game. And hitting-wise, well, Texas is currently in the bottom 10 in team batting average. Now, when it comes to the total, 5 out of Watkins' last 8 starts did fall under the line. They also, the O's, they went 60% to the under in their last 10 games against their opponents here today. Now, the O's, they're 31-23 to the under when they travel. So I'm going to go ahead and lean toward Baltimore +1.5 and the under 7.5. All right, next matchup, Red Sox, Astros, 8:10 East. Houston's -185, total 7.5. Luis Garcia for Houston, Nathan Eovaldi for Boston. Now, the Nate Dogg has certainly given up his fair share of earned runs. The righty comes into today's contest with an ERA in the mid-4s. Meanwhile, as a team, the Bo Sox have won 4 games since July 10th. They're taking on an Astros club who's been very good at Minute Maid Park. They're 33-15 in front of their own fans. And their hitters are in the top 3 in home runs. Yordan Alvarez is 3rd in the majors with 30 homers. But most impressive, Alvarez is actually leading the majors right now with a 1.087 OPS. And even if for some reasons the bats go cold here today for Houston, they're probably going to be in the game here with Luis Garcia on the bump. The righty's got himself a 1.08 whip, along with 107 strikeouts in just 99-plus innings. Now, total-wise, the Astros are currently 60% to the under in their own building. Meanwhile, Boston's 29-21 to the under when they travel. I'm going to lean toward Houston -1.5, and the under 7.5. Next contest I have for you, it is going to be Royals, White Sox, 8:10 Eastern start time. Chicago's -165, totals 9. Michael Kopech for the White Sox, Brad Keller for Kansas City. Now, Kells is just 5-11 on the season with an ERA in the 4s. And even if B. Kelly pitches well here today, B. Keller. Keller, his hitters are scoring only 3.9 runs a game for the entire year. Now, they're also facing Michael Kopech here today, who's got an ERA in the low 3s, along with a 1.21 whip. Now, these White Sox hitters also do a great job of getting on base. They're in the top 5 in team batting average, and they're striking out fewer times a game at the plate than most clubs in the American League. Timmy Anderson's the team leader with a .311 batting average. He's actually 7th in the big leagues in that category. Meanwhile, Luis Roberts, the team leader in runs batted in. Now, total-wise, 5 out of Chicago's last 7 games at Guaranteed Rate Field got over the number. Meanwhile, Kansas City saw 3 out of their last 4 on the road get over the line themselves. I'm going to go ahead and lean toward Chicago -1.5 in the over 9 runs. Next matchup, it is going to be Rockies, Padres, 9:40 Eastern first pitch. San Diego's the $2.10 favorite, total 7.5. Mike Clevenger for San Diego. Antonio Sensatella for Colorado. Now, Tony's got just 3 wins on the season with an ERA very close to 5. And if that ain't bad enough, this Colorado lineup is currently in the bottom 3 in the majors in scoring per contest on the road. Now, they have to face Mike Clevenger here today, who has an ERA in the low 3s. He's also averaging a strikeout an inning. Meanwhile, offensively at the plate, the Paws are doing a real nice job making contact with the baseball. They're currently in the top 10 in the majors right now in fewest strikeouts at the dish. And, of course, Manny Machado's leading the team in a lot of different offensive statistics. He's the club leader in batting average, home run, and RBI. The Slugger's hitting nearly 300 at the plate with 18 homers and 57 runs batted in. Now, total-wise, San Diego's 24-15 to the under against the NL West. They've also gone 60% to the under at Petco Park. Meanwhile, Colorado saw 6 out of their last 10 ball games fall under the total themselves. I'm going to lean towards San Diego -1.5 and the under 7.5. With that, guys, we're going to jump into our next and final matchup for the video. It is going to be Dodgers-Giants, 9:45 East. The LA Dodgers are -135, totals 8 runs. Andrew Heaney for Los Angeles, Logan Webb for San Francisco. But despite how good Webb's been, the Giants really haven't played great team baseball. They've lost 7 out of their last 10 here recently, and they average only 2.8 runs a game during that span. And speaking of hitting the baseball, or lack thereof, the Giants are actually in the bottom 10 in the league right now in team batting average. Now, they're squaring off against a Dodger club who won 7 out of their last 10 themselves. And they have a good one in Andrew Heaney here today. Now, the lefty's got a .47 ERA in 19-plus innings. He's also struck out 27 batters already during that short body of work. And even if for some reason Heaney ends up blowing up here today, this is the best lineup in the National League hitting-wise. They're leading the NL in scoring, and they're also first in the entire league in OPS. Now, Mookie Betts has a team-best 23 home runs. Meanwhile, Trey Turner's fifth in the majors with 73 RBI. When it comes to the scoring, 7 out of LA's last 10 contests did fall under the line. Meanwhile, the Giants went 70% to the under in their last 10 outings themselves. I'm going to go ahead and lean toward the LA Dodgers minus 135 and the under 8 runs. And with that, guys, now it's time for our quick pick recap for Monday, August 1st, 2022. And as always, our quick pick recap is powered to you by my website at patreon.com/BrockPage, where I'm currently 7-3 in my last 10 board member tier package bets on that website. I like the Marlins winning their game outright for some money line cash. Give me the Mets minus 1.5 over 8.5 hook. I like the Yankees minus 1.5 under 9. Give me Arizona plus 1.5 under 9 runs. I like Minnesota winning their game outright for some money line cash. Give me Baltimore plus 1.5 under 7.5 hook. Give me Houston minus 1.5 under 7.5 runs. I like the White Sox minus 1.5 over 9. Give me the Padres minus 1.5 under 7.5 hook. And before I give you my next and final free pick for the video, one final reminder that I also went 5-1 in all of my personal sports bets on my website yesterday. I like the Dodgers minus 135 and the under 8 runs. And with that, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on my website. Now, if you guys do end up getting a membership here today on patreon.com/BrockPage, just keep in mind that it's a max value Monday. So if you do end up getting a membership here today on my website, you're going to get access to that membership every single day all the way until September 1st. There's 31 days in the month of August, so today is the day to sign up. This is your absolute max value. And I do always tell folks in every single video, the earlier in the month you sign up, the better. Now, guys, if you want to get access to every single bet, every single package, every single day, you're going to want to sign up for my board member package. Not only do board members get access to the board member tier package bet itself, they also get access to every single bet, every single package, every single day, all the way up until September 1st. It's an all-inclusive membership. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, guys, happy Monday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.